Good morning, Ireland. It is, I should have checked, Saturday? I don't know. It's the middle of August. I think it's Saturday. It's just after 7 a.m. You can see we're still quite high up, just above the clouds there. It's a beautiful morning. It was wet last night. So today we're going into town, so I have a relatively short hike. Should just get me into the early afternoon, and then we go into town, get a motel night, laundry, showers, all those nice things. Hope you're all doing well. And it's Friday the 16th, okay, just so we're clear. It's not Saturday, that's tomorrow. Catch you later. Yeah, here's a view and a half. Look at that. So right up there is Mount Washington. Look at that now. Oh, I'm gonna miss this. Beautiful. That's the Wildcat range that we came over yesterday and today. Not quite done. Okay. Good morning, Ireland. It is Sunday, August 18th, making this day 1:48, and I'm on my way to the excuse me, on my way to the Mahoosic Notch, which is known as the toughest mile. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to photo and video there, but I'll do my best to give you a flavour for what's going on. Okay, catch you later. I think the people who make out the trail have got a sick sense of humour. That was extremely dangerous, and it's slippery, and I'm not done, and I'm not even at the notch yet. This is just to get to the notch. Oi, oi, oi. Talk to you soon, I hope.
You're on.
Don't try to tell me you're not enjoying this.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I think this is this halfway point they were talking about where we go into the trees and the water sound stops. Well, we're done with the Mahoosic Notch. It was tough enough. Sort of fun though. Wouldn't want to do it again. So we are doing another few miles to the shelter. I think I've 3 miles left. Really feel today's efforts in my legs. So just when you think you're getting fit, they throw the Mahoosic Notch at you. So that's it really. Everything's going okay. Past 1900 miles today, so less than 300 left. Just the length of Ireland to go. Okay, talk to you soon. Good morning, Ireland. It is Wednesday, August 21st. I'm on my way up Bald Pate. Unusual terrain. Thought I'd share it with you. It's nice and steep, but grippy underfoot, I'm happy to say. So, took an unplanned zero yesterday because the previous 2 days, where we did a 30-mile section covering Old Speck and the Mahoosic Notch, etc., completely wore us out. We were properly exhausted after it, so we decided to recalculate our plans, took a day off, and broke this day into two. It was supposed to be a 21-mile single day. We thought better of it, read a few reviews, and decided to split it into two 10-point somethings. So here we are. So I'm going an hour or so, maybe 2 hours, and hang on before I trip. Yeah, apart from the exhaustion, everything's going great. So I did a stupid thing. After 1925 miles of perfect performance with my super cool carbon lecky poles, I managed to leave them in a car park. So bought myself a pair of cheapos yesterday to get me through the last 270 miles or so, and gave myself a damn good talking to. So there you go. Okay, it's not good talking into my video and climbing at the same time. So this is where we've come from this morning. It's kind of nice. You can see the low cloud over there. Might look like water, but it's actually cloud. It's kind of beautiful. This is kind of cool too. Okay, catch you later. Okay, nearly there. A better way to spend an early morning. You can see why it's called Bald Pate. Doesn't have any tree cover. Well, almost no tree cover. Sorry about the heavy breathing. But I am 52, you know. Okay. I guess this is it. I'll give you a quick 360. Hello Ireland. I am at about 50-ish, something like that. Everything's going very well. I have two questions. Well, I do have two questions. One of them I'm going to deal with now. The other one I'm going to partially deal with. It's too big a question, so I'm going to stretch it over the next few days or between now and the end of the hike. So the first question was a follow-up question from Karen in San Diego. I should have reminded myself exactly what your question was, but if I remember rightly, it was relating to bad weather. Did I have many consecutive days of rain? Was that what I think that was the question? Okay. Funny enough, I feel I've been pretty lucky with the weather, or that could be just a psychological thing because I'm really enjoying the trail. I've had a really good time, outside of really badly missing home and missing my family. I've really enjoyed everything else. I love the climbing. The recent couple of weeks where we get up, into the Alpine zone and just get those spectacular views, that just completely reinvigorates me, and I'm slipping sideways with the issue here, but it's interesting seeing so many hikers that are just sort of wiped out by that experience. It's purely the exertion of getting up there and all the climbs and the descents and all that, the kind of scary stuff has sort of worn them out and freaked them out a little bit, and I'm kind of feeling like it's had the opposite effect on me. I get up there and I feel like, yes, I want to run and I want to jump and, just feel fantastic up there. So I think that is probably clouding my memory of bad weather. I have to think really hard about bad spells of weather. I don't think I've had many consecutive wet days. I've probably once or twice bleated about, bad weather because the AT is famous for bad weather. But I did have a run quite early on in the hike where I seemed to be caught in a lot of lightning storms. And, we got sort of soaked as well. Most of the time I was on my own, if not all the time I was on my own. And I always seemed to be up high, which wasn't great either. So I did have a few weeks where it was, it felt like it was becoming a bit of a joke. I just kept catching these crazy lightning storms. They were like fireworks shows. But they were, in a funny kind of way, they were, part of the experience. They were almost fun, because I don't think I'd ever been out in the elements in that sense in the past. So yeah, there was that spell. In terms of just rain, yes, sure, I've had a lot of rain, but did I have prolonged spells? I don't think so. I might have had some consecutive days, but it's not like it was raining all day. It might have been raining for just an hour or so, and that was probably about it. So my experience with the weather has been, it feels like I've had a very good experience with the weather. I've only had to camp in snow twice maybe. I've had sub-zero nights on maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 occasions. And that's pretty good going. So maybe I just chose the right sort of time of year to do this, which was basically end of March to, end of September. So that was that. Just to finish off the answer, just in contrast to my experience, I did meet an older couple who just randomly walked over to me in a car park. I was waiting for a lift and they just came over and they just said to me that they had through hiked the AT in 1990, I think it was 1998 or 7. And they told me that they had 34 consecutive wet days, which is, that must have been just miserable. Or do you get used to it after the first 6 or 7? I don't know. But the idea of being soaked, because after a couple of days, everything is just soaked. Regardless of how good your equipment is or how disciplined you are, it eventually permeates into everything. So to spend so long just sodden, and that always makes you feel very cold as well. Fair play to them for continuing. I don't know what my reaction would have been if I had that kind of weather. So there you go. Thanks for the question. The other question from Connor, and again, I should have read this before I started hiking this morning. Anyone who wants to get the question right, if you look at the comments from the last video, the one that went up to day 145, there's a question relating to, having had so long to think and to be in the hills and whatever, have I had any moments of enlightenment or any big life-changing thoughts or any life lessons or meaning of life type stuff? I think that was basically what it was. Okay, so that's a brilliant question, and it was an inevitable question. I was wondering how long it would take before someone asked that kind of question. So Connor got there first. Fair play. I couldn't answer it fully in one go, but what I would say, my knee-jerk was a little bit zen, because I thought, well, okay, that's actually a very personal thing. I don't mean personal as in it's stuff I don't want to share with people, but it's no use me sharing, what I've discovered about myself and for myself with you guys. That's something that everyone has to discover for themselves. How you go about achieving that, again, that's up to you. It's not I nearly said my problem. It would never be my problem anyway. But okay, yes, I knew that 6 months of doing this kind of thing might possibly change me or change my view of the world or view of anything. I don't think I've changed, but I guess time will tell when I get home. Will I be reacting to different things in different ways, or I don't know. We'll see. So that little thing about that's different for everybody. That's my initial knee-jerk for that. But one thing I would say that I've discovered, and this relates micro and macro, but we need so little in life to make us happy. We really do. You go through thinking, if only I had a better car, a bigger house, then life would be complete and happy, and I'd be, that's utter nonsense. Everyone, well, nearly everybody, I think, sort of thinks that way. And I think marketing forces encourages us to think that way. Sorry, I'm trying not to slip here. But I've discovered, I've been, okay, I miss my family and I miss home just terribly. But I've been so happy hiking this trail. Really, really happy. Totally calm. I'm like, I feel like I'm in my element. And I have, my phone. I have a relatively small hiking pack, a sleeping bag, a tent. I've one change of clothes. I'm getting through a pair of shoes every sort of 400 or 500 miles, and I've got my stove. I'm eating very simple food. If I get a chance for a burger and some chips, it's like, it's like heaven. So, and yet, it just tells me I don't need all the trappings and all the crap that, sometimes you might think you do need. Now, I think the things that people need to genuinely make them happy, I think very few people allow themselves to arrive at that answer for themselves. I know too many people that are very close to me who are just drawn towards, and it's like, is that really what you want? Is it really? Because I could even maybe see that it isn't, and I don't know. I would love people to be able to go into a quiet room, maybe learn to mildly meditate and just arrive at that answer for themselves. What do I really want? I'm trying not to be too philosophical here or too boring, but it's a massively important point for everybody. Really, 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 what is it that makes you happy? You know, you can be pretty sure that it isn't an even more expensive car or a bigger house or, you know, bigger holiday or what. It's probably nothing to do with that. You know, really isn't. It's human nature to feel that way if that's what you feel. There's no need to feel bad about it. But for most people, if you look at people who've arrived at this Zen-like state and they're just totally blissfully happy, they tend to be quite minimal. You know, they've decluttered their life. They're very honest people. Actually, some other day I'm going to talk about that subject of honesty, and I'll say no more than that. I'll expand on it, what I mean by that, another day. I'm not talking about liars. I mean a different kind of honesty. But those people that seem to have arrived at that state of mind, if you look at what they own and what they have and what they do and what they eat and you know what they do with their day, it's usually very, very simple, you know. And you know, that may not be the answer for everybody, but I would just say to anyone who's interested in this subject, maybe learn how to meditate. Get yourself the Calm app or Sam Harris's meditation app, or you know, one of those things, and just learn how to answer that question for yourself. You know, what is it that makes me happy? Sorry, I'm really waffling on here, but it's a subject that's very close to my heart. So if I haven't bored you all senseless, I'm going to say goodbye for another episode of Whitey on the AT, and I will talk to you soon. Have a nice week. Take care. Bye-de-bye. Catch you later.